Get ready for the dictation on the count of 3, 2, 1, start. Indian households' financial surpluses parked in a small savings scheme operated by banks and post offices got a significant fillip this quarter, with the government raising the returns on most such schemes by 0.1 to 0.7 percentage points. This constituted the third successive hike in the rates that are reset each quarter. However, the breadth of the schemes covered was wider than on the last two occasions. For October 2022 to December 2022, a mere 0.1 to 0.3 percentage hike was announced on just 5 of the dozen small savings schemes. The first quarter of 2023 saw another 0.2 to 1.1 percentage point hikes on 8 schemes. These increases came after a long pause in rates since April 2020, as the central bank started rate hikes last year and government bond yields, to which small savings rates are linked, hardened. There was a widening gap between the extant rates and the rates prescribed by the formula recommended by the Shyamala Gopinath panel that was officially adopted in 2016. This gap stood at 44 to 77 basis points BPS after the meager hikes of October. 1 basis point equals 0.01%. Now that gap is zero or marginal on 6 schemes, but for 5 schemes it is still at 5 BPS to 82 BPS. These include the Public Provident Fund PPF, whose rates have been frozen at 7.1% for these 3 years now and should have fetched 7.72% last October and 7.76% for this quarter as per the formula. Government mandarins indicate they are not inclined to hike the PPF rate as its returns are tax-free, unlike in the case of other schemes. If that is so, it must publicly restate its policy position. Yet the returns on the Sukanya Samriddhi account scheme, which are also tax-free, are hiked to 8% this quarter. Its only ostensible difference with the 1960s to origin PPF is it was launched by the current government to encourage savings for the girl child. The General Provident Fund rate for government employees has also been retained at 7.1%, but their dearness allowance has been hiked and a review of their benefits under the new pension scheme is underway. While PPF savings are capped at Rs 1.5 lakh a year, this budget raised the limits on a couple of small savings schemes to multiple times of that. It is perhaps no coincidence that the last time small savings rates were hiked across the board was in January 2019, ahead of the Lok Sabha battle. That several states vote this year and the general election looms in 2024 may have influenced the latest hikes as a feel-good device. An even-handed and transparent policy approach rather than quinquennial bouts of relief for small savers would inspire more confidence. A striking feature of the Surat District Court's order declining to stay the conviction of Congress leader Rahul Gandhi is its unusual emphasis on his status as a member of parliament to justify his conviction and quantum of punishment. It is quite evident from a reading of 8th Additional Sessions Judge Robin P. Moguera's order that the court deems an offence to be worse if done by a legislator, that its impact on society is more deleterious than when it is committed by any other citizen, and that a harsher sentence than normally imposed is justified against a lawmaker. Yet, Mr. Gandhi's status as a parliamentarian matters little when it comes to the question whether his conviction ought to be stayed. His 2-year prison term awarded by a magistrate court in Surat for allegedly defaming the collective of people who have Modi as their surname has led to his disqualification from his membership of the Lok Sabha. While his sentence has been suspended till disposal of his appeal against his conviction, only a stay on the operation of his conviction could have restored his membership of the House. Judge Moguera has ruled that Mr. Gandhi failed to demonstrate that he will suffer irreversible and irrevocable damage if his conviction, which has also deprived him of the opportunity to contest elections, is not stayed. Selectively quoting from Supreme Court judgments, the judge has held that disqualification for being a legislator cannot be described as irreversible damage. The order suffers from infirmities in reasoning and does not always adhere to precedents that do not prohibit treating disqualification from electoral contest as an exceptional circumstance warranting a stay of conviction. The order holds that the complainant, being a former minister, would have suffered harm to his reputation by Mr. Gandhi's remark. However, it fails to see that a conviction for defamation is itself quite rare and a 2-year punishment rarer. The judge justifies the maximum sentence by claiming that the words of a sitting member of parliament will have a larger impact on the public and that the sentence is permissible in law. Criminal defamation is itself a questionable concept, as it can be invoked to silence criticism and harass opponents. It is inconceivable that political remarks made in an election campaign are used to secure a conviction for defamation and a jail term that precisely matches with the legal requirement to disqualify a person. Mr. Gandhi has further legal remedies such as an appeal in the High Court, but it is lamentable that in a democracy, a dodgy defamation case can be stretched to such absurd levels as to deprive the parliamentary opposition of a key figure